I've developed this podcast based on just asking my friends who actually listen to podcasts what they like about podcasts and what they don't like about podcasts. So, I mean, why did you want to do a podcast, or why are we doing a podcast?
Why did I want to do one? I feel like I got roped into doing a podcast.
I feel like we're doing one because we have to do one, right?
Yeah, like people want to know stuff, and either I got to talk to every person that wants to know something cool. We can do this, so I guess it's a sensible way to do it. I know we need a bit of outreach, and we closed. Probably more to do with local news as well. We closed the tap room. We had a tap room that we were opening Saturdays. We closed that because we wanted to focus on getting stuff in cans, and we were putting a lot of stuff in cans. We were trying to keep like 8 lines on the whole time, and we're only brewing 1 day a week at the moment, so it was pretty difficult to do that. Then we don't have the same interaction with the customers directly, so we kind of want to put some content out there.
So content in cans is the
content
new strategy for the next few months, right? Cool. So what have you been brewing lately? I had some tasters earlier of the Heifer, the latest double IPA, and a Dunkel. Is there any you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, we got some new stuff. We got I think it's quite one of the big benefits obviously is having the small kit is you can kind of experiment, play around. It's almost like a test kit for a normal brewery, but it's kind of our batch size. But yeah, we've got the Dunkel, like you said, the Hefeweizen and the double IPA are the latest ones.
What ABV is that? It's pretty strong, right?
The double IPA is 9.5%, and it's pretty juicy, I think, at the moment. We'll see how it kind of turns out, because obviously as they condition, they can settle a bit and maybe not be as juicy. But I think it should be pretty tasty, that one. But you probably don't want to have too many cans on a night out.
You can taste the alcohol in it for sure, can't you?
Yeah, it's definitely stronger. It's stronger because our strongest at the moment is about 6.5, which is the freshly squeezed.
And did you, in terms of the mash, did you do two? Did you use 2 kits?
No, so I did.
Did you do a single kit?
It was a single kit, but with a double mash. So I actually used. So it's almost like taking the wort from the first mash and then mashing again with it to make it double the strength essentially.
Okay.
So yeah, twice as much grain. The efficiency was horrible, obviously, because we were taking sugar water and putting it back onto the grain to make it more sugary. So there's obviously some saturation level there that gets reached. Because if you just took it to be normal, the normal brew efficiency for the amount of grain would probably end up with a 12% beer.
Got you.
Rather than a 9.5% beer. So it was pretty inefficient, but quite a good experiment in terms of what we could be brewing, and as soon as we get the bigger kit, then that'll be something that's you can just do normally.
So I mean that moves on to the next section. I didn't know where to go in terms of the structure for the podcast for here, so I kind of opened the floor out. I sent a load of messages to family, friends, pubs and posts on social media, and we had a load of questions come in.
You gonna open another beer, or is it?
Yeah, crack on.
Did you?
This is the free flow. It's the free flowing pod. I'm still on. You
gotta try.
I'll go on.
I mean, I might. Can I? I'll keep this and I'll open another one on one of these. Got a lot of glasses hidden down here.
It smells really good.
Yeah, it's nice.
It smells like it's got that greenness to it though.
Yeah.
In terms of the hop.
I mixed it. I actually shook it up because I wanted to get it was like.
So is that how you wanted it to taste? Or?
Yeah. I wanted to get it back in because it was starting to just kind of drop.
Okay, so should we go on to the first question then? Now you've refueled.
I like that one. Yeah.
Okay. So our first question was from Matty. I think it came through Instagram. He said, "How did you get started? It seems like a huge undertaking in a saturated market."
Yeah, yeah.
I think we both knew that going into it, right? It was. Let
me ask you before you answer that. Good or bad idea? That's when you look back and if you could go back to would you open or not, given the situation now?
Yeah, I would 100% open.
You would?
Yeah. I think we're at a good point in terms of the brewing. The product's good. It's been super stressful. We've learned a lot of stuff, and we've spent a lot of money maybe in the wrong places as well potentially. But on the whole, it's been good fun. Do you know what's amazing is people come in to the brewery and although the tap room's so remote and it's really out on a limb and it's hard to get people here, what is nice is when people make the effort to come here and they're like, that beer's amazing. Like that beer's as good as like one of the other top breweries. And you guys are a startup and you're doing it on like some homebrew kit. I think that's a testament to like your ability to like research and figure it out. But at the same time, it's really nice to be a part of something that you enjoy the brand, you enjoy the community that comes with it. And I feel like that's what we didn't have before. And so that's why I'd say, yeah. Would you do it again?
I like, honestly, I would probably like, now I'd be like, I wish I hadn't done it. Yeah. But like at the same time, I do think that we have kind of the value is in like the IP that we've got. We've actually got, I think we've probably got maybe 2 or 3 recipes that I actually think are like really solid now. We're still obviously refining like that, the processes around it. But I think like if we could get, if like given the chance to kind of, I don't know, cuckoo brew it or something, you know, we could do like a bigger batch of stuff, and I think it would be really, you know, a really nice beer. But yeah, I do like, it's hard to say because I like when that beer exploded yesterday, I was just, I definitely would have just gone back to not having a brewery. But,
yeah. So to like answer Matty's question,
sorry, that was
well,
like
yeah, I feel like
really long-winded. I hijacked that.
Essentially, I would say we both love beer. You were homebrewing at the time. COVID happened. We kind of thought this would be a fun thing to do. We wanted a bit of a passion project, and it's grown out of there, right? And in terms of like being concerned about the competition, I don't ever think that's like our approach, because we're always like, well, let's try and figure out a way to do it differently or a way to do it better, maybe.
Yeah, I think beer, I don't know, like beer definitely is at like a saturation point for them. Like there's so much good beer, right?
Yeah.
But there's still like a lot of bad beer, and that still sells. So I think like there's always room for more good stuff. I think like there's definitely a saturation point, but like you say, I don't think it's the concern, because you slot into a market and you try and make room for yourself, right? By just being at least as good as other people.
Yeah.
Or cheaper.
Yeah, I think
like,
that's always
you know, whatever.
always
just undercut. That's it.
Okay, let's move on. So next question from Ollie, one of my good friends, long-time beer drinker. His question: Camera or Brewdog? Who's achieved more for craft beer?
That's a good question.
I thought that was one of my favourites when I saw it come through.
Do you want me to go first?
I mean, it's a tricky one, to be honest.
For craft beer.
So when I first got into beer, or like it was before university, I remember.
Like ales or
yeah, so I was
beer.
into like ales.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, the craft beer wasn't really a thing.
Did you ever drink macro lagers and stuff? Did you ever like go through the Friday night, have 10 macros?
I mean, I would buy like a case of Stella.
Of course you would.
when I was 14, 15. And it's like everyone gets
down the corner shop.
Gets a case of Stella, and it's just like who can get through it first.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think
Stella race.
Me and Ollie actually started homebrewing when we were about like 13, 14. And the reason being,
and your parents were that's a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, it was nice that I had a different new hobby.
Bradford on Avon, ladies and gentlemen.
But we started because we weren't old enough to drink.
Right.
So it was like
you had to make it moonshine.
And also I don't know. We started reading books on it, and we were seeing all these cool American beers, and we wanted to try and replicate them.
What year? 2005,
I'm like 91. So what's that?
About 2006-ish.
2006. Yeah, I would say sometime around. Yeah. All the beers were awful. Right,
yeah,
just made these really
like
brown.
Pond water.
Yeah, made these really brown
no
home
carbonation.
brews. We would basically like all of the alcohol my parents would drink. We'd clean out the bottles, so we'd just like decant it into these gin bottles and take it to parties.
Didn't even wash them; just leave the gin. If there's like a bit of dregs of gin, that was even
exactly.
better.
But camera was a thing at that point in time.
Camera's been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so camera was a thing that we knew about.
Right, you were a member.
Yeah, I was a member of Camera with like a couple of my best mates. And so we started drinking in the pubs, and we would have like a lot of the real ales, all that sort of stuff. And we'd actually go out with the Camera members when we were like 17, 18. It was an interesting time. I kind of heard about Brewdog through their like crazy marketing and stuff. And when I heard about them, I was actually like, this is something I can resonate with, because they were younger, and they were actually like, as a brand and like people, I was like, okay, these guys
What
are
was-
kind of more what I was after.
Can you describe?
But now that
can
sounds
you describe
terrible.
the camera brand? Is that
The camera brand, Stuffy.
right?
I mean, it's
Portly.
yeah, it's a certain somatotype, a pullover, a big beard, and a bag of pasties.
I'm working on it.
But yeah, I think like then so Brewdog, we started to hear about Brewdog, and we were super interested in what they were doing at that time. And then we started having some of their beers, and we were like, yeah, this is really nice and it's different. Fast forward, what, 10 to 15 years, and now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know
Now you're
who's.
just
I
a
don't
big
know.
fan of
I don't know
James.
who's had a better impact on
Just-
on the craft beer world.
Just like the way he does business.
I mean, yeah, but like take that out of the equation in terms
like
of
take him out.
take his like personal
He's like a big.
issues.
I mean, he's a big part of why they succeeded there.
Like right, okay, that's fine. But what I'm saying is take his like personal issues
Yeah,
out and just talk
forget about the company. Forget about the toxic nature.
yeah,
of
but
the
talk about
company.
Brewdog in terms of the beer.
I know, like
what do you
100%.
think they've done more than Camera?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, because Camera, if anything, Camera should have taken the win, right? Like, this is the way I always thought about it. It's like Camera, actually, they were obviously for real ale. They were for craft brewing. They were for British beer, essentially, because instead of like the Euro lagers, right? They were trying to revive British brewing. So when it did revive under the new tax plans of like lowering the duty for small brewers, and it suddenly exploded, Camera should have just took the win.
So I'm gonna have to push you for an answer. I'm saying Brewdog have done more
for craft.
Well, I just think of like the people I know who started drinking Hazy Jane and like Elvis Juice, Punk IPA.
Was that the early ones? I thought they were the late ones.
Well,
'Cause I remember Punk
like,
IPA.
like now though,
Right, yeah.
and then they move over to try some other stuff, and they're like, actually, it's not as good as what I'm now drinking, which would be like what we'd consider to be a good beer.
Yeah, but because I probably started. I mean, I was macro lager, and then started drinking. To be fair, I met you and started drinking ale because you convinced me to drink ale.
I feel like it was 50% what we were drinking, 50% price.
Yeah. Spoons is quite
You like
quite the eye opener.
you enjoyed the value of Wetherspoons,
I love
and you're
Spoons,
like, I'm
yeah.
drinking this, so I'll drink it with you.
I love Spoons, yeah. But I definitely think that Brewdog have done way more for craft beer.
I think they've like shifted the masses in terms of what they expect.
But the
from
thing is,
beer, right?
they've gone mainstream now.
Yeah,
Like, because that was the thing. They were the punks
yeah.
at the start, but now they're the mainstream. Because you have to like to grow that big, you got to find a bigger market. So you got to make all lagers and pales, right? But yeah, I think, to be honest, I don't know what Camera have done for craft beer. I don't know what they've done.
Okay, cool. I think we've answered that one. Moving on then. Question here from George. What tips would you give to someone starting out home brewing? Is there like, can we just like narrow it down to one tip?
One thing is this has gone
'cause
on for way
otherwise
too
we're gonna
long.
be
Yeah,
done.
it's gone.
Like if you had to give someone who was starting out one
Yeah.
home brewing tip, what would that tip be?
I would say just do it. Like don't worry about the kit and all that, because people are everyone's using different kit and everyone's kind of I gotta have the good kit and all that. I would just say just do, like start, and if you're gonna start, you don't have to start all grain either. So you could start with like extracts and stuff, but like I would say just like dive in and see what you can make.
My advice would be watch YouTube.
Yeah. Don't watch this. We're not giving good advice, so don't watch this channel. But yeah, no, I think you got to start somewhere. That's
It's super tricky, and it's really deflating when you brew a beer and it comes out terrible, or it gets like an infection, or it's like awful,
probably
right?
that's probably the best tip.
Yeah.
Then like cleanliness is like.
I know, but that's like such a
sanitize.
boring homebrew tip to
Yeah.
be like clean your equipment.
sanitize everything, and also oxygen. Like keep as much oxygen. Like keep it as free from oxygen as possible.
If you want to brew those like any style?
I'd say any
Okay.
style. Like because
Okay.
it don't like some are more like some would accept it better than others, but like even you could definitely taste it in like pretty much any beer that's like not been free from oxygen.